The following content is sponsored and does not necessarily reflect the views of WATD Radio. Now, Paul Ponders on 95.9 WATD. Be a part of the show. Call or text 781-837-4900. Now, here's your host, Paul Solano.
Greetings and welcome. Thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors. My name is Paul Solano of PS&L Marketing Group, and as you probably already know, I also wear another hat as General Manager of Pearl Street Station Restaurant in Malden, and a huge shout out to Chef Felipe Fitzpatrick and his culinary team. Chef Felipe is a loyal listener through the Odyssey app, so hello to Chef Felipe. As always, we have lots of party pans going out to many of our customers from Pearl Street Station this Labor Day weekend. I know that you, Chef Felipe, Chef Joaquin, Pizio, and Muhammad are holding down the fort and doing a great job with our grade 12-15 staff of John, Jen, Nicole, and Dennis. So keep up the great work. Now, this is show number 39, and I really cannot believe that. It's unbelievable. We'll call it Jack Benny's show. So that's 3/4. Unbelievable. And it's an absolute honor and a pleasure to be on WATD in the slot of The Boiling Point with Arthur Boyle. And Arthur will be calling in after 12:30 to say hi and to chat. And I just want to give a shout out to Arthur's brother, Dave Boyle, for hosting last week and 2 weeks previous from the Plymouth waterfront last week. And David did a great job. He finally got to the booth at that wonderful Plymouth Waterfront Festival put on by the Plymouth Chamber of Commerce. And he had a great time. He had some wonderful guests. And David also was highlighting a wine tasting show, a fundraiser for a foundation that he and a few other individuals in the Pembroke area set up. And I think that's going to be on September 18th. So I'm sure we'll be hearing from David in the next couple of weeks with more information on that. And a shout out to David's grandnephew, Tate, for his first baseball victory. Now, as I said, I am totally blown away with the fact that this is show number 39, and I have so many loyal listeners, and I receive quite a few emails and calls, and I just want to thank those loyal listeners out there, whether it's Tamika from Cohasset, Mike on the North River, Judy from Marshfield, Steve from Duxbury, Coach Bill from Duxbury. Hello to all, and also we have some new listeners today listening up in the Medford area, Paul and Karen, so welcome to our show. And behind the glass, we have Tim. How are you, Tim?
Doing well. Think nothing stays the same in our world. Everything changes. Just rolling with the punches and changes this morning, but we're through it.
It's all good in the hood, and hopefully we don't get caught up in that river in Egypt called denial, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So let me ask you: did you buy a Powerball ticket?
No.
You did not?
No. I don't. I have yet to buy any lottery tickets ever.
Not even when the jackpot is at $1 billion?
No.
That's incredible willpower.
Thank you.
It really is great.
I don't know, because I know people have luck out there, but, I see some people and they buy one every day, and I don't know, you can't win if you don't play, but I don't know. I have other things my money can go towards instead of a scratch ticket.
Absolutely.
And if I'm going to gamble or anything, I'm going to go big. I'm not just going to do a scratch ticket. I'm going somewhere where I can play some slots or something like that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, if you ever make it up over the Zakin Bridge, we can meet over at Encore. My wife works over at the Shake Shack at Encore, so we'll have to go there.
Okay. Yeah, that is on our list. We haven't been to that one yet. We've been to Plain Ridge, and of course we've been out to Vegas, but haven't been to Encore yet. And I hear it's very nice in there.
It really is. It really is quite the facility. It really is beautiful. And also, by the way, I heard on the way down, the Encore presentation on Duncan's show, and it was on lunchboxes.
Yes.
And it was a really great segment.
Yeah. That was a really fun show, and just when you heard me chime in, because I was a kid, I had a couple lunch boxes that maybe collector's items. I know I mentioned on the show I had a Care Bears box, but I also had a Ghostbusters lunchbox too. But that one was plastic.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had a Snoopy, a Peanuts.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Peanuts lunchbox. I had that.
Did you have a metal one?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you still have it?
I'll have to ponder that one.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If you do, talk to Duncan, and it might be worth something.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, my peanut butter and jelly sandwich is.
I hope it's not in there. Oh, that's not worth anything. Oh,
this is
throw
true.
it out. Oof.
Absolutely. I'll tell you. Well, thank you, Tim, for doing a great job. So, 24 years plus here at WATD, right?
I think next month is 25.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome. We'll have to do something special.
Yeah. Well, I like to see the station do something special, but I'm not holding my breath.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. And speaking about the station, I had the pleasure of seeing Mr. Perry on the way in, and
Yes.
it was so nice seeing him. He's such a nice man, and the station's coming up on 48 years in December. I think December 6th.
7th, I think.
7th. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the day I started my first show, December 7th in 2024. So we're gonna have to have a dual celebration.
Maybe,
here.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you going to bring in the cake?
I'll have the
I don't
cake.
know.
I'll bring you fried ice cream, actually, from Pearl
Oh.
Street Station Restaurant. We have the
okay.
best fried ice cream around. I don't know if we'll hold, though, coming all the way down
Well, I'm going to
from
say, if
Walden.
you've got a great cooler, it should make the trip. But if it's just hanging out in a bag, I don't know.
I know. It could be soup by the time we get here. I'll tell you, it was fun. Twice over the past month, we've had some backyard barbecues, one up in Methuen and one up in Haverhill. And 400 people last week. And I'll tell you, just keeping everything really hot and ready to go, and then grilling on the premises was really great for 400 people. And it went off without a hitch. So it was really, really a great time.
Yeah. Oh, and I got a message here from our Monday night talk show host chiming in on playing the lottery and stuff. He says, the only time I play the lottery is when it's a big jackpot. So, yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right. Is that Kevin?
Yes, Kevin Tachi.
I listen to Kevin on Monday nights, and I am so impressed with his show. It's really great,
Yes.
great hearing him, and I believe that he's involved with the Abington or the Weymouth Access station.
Yeah, I think it's Abington.
Abington, down there. But Kevin just does a great show, and he has some great guests. And
Has he approached you as a guest yet?
He has not.
Okay.
No.
All right.
We'll have to ponder that.
Yes,
I'm happy.
He's probably pondering that right now, looking at the schedule, saying, "Oh, what a great idea! I got to get him on." Yes,
There we go.
Yes.
And I'll have to have Kevin on this show too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Yes.
really great, and it's really great just being
Get him
part
out of the host seat once in a while.
There
know?
you go.
Yeah.
It could be a role reversal
Yes.
type thing. And speaking of hosts, it's always nice to see Counselor Tom Williams in the change of shows and seeing him out the hall. And I know he's listening right now. So, Counselor, thank you for listening. And I really enjoy your sound advice. And your guest, Elaine, today was just so spot on what she needed to talk about with Medicaid, Medicare planning. And she's very knowledgeable, as well as you, Counselor Williams. And I hope you have a great time at your reunion. 67 years of knowing and going to school with the same people is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So at this point, I'm just going to touch upon, we have a few extra minutes before we speak to Shelley Wolf from Pod Pro Entertainment. I just wanted to talk about the episodes of Paul Ponders. I have received a couple of emails. People have, in fact, asked me about, do I have an actual brick and mortar studio where I record from? What do I do? How do I do that? And, I really don't. Everything is done virtually. And it's done in conjunction with our production company, the production company that is run by Techie Chalonzo Amos. And it's called Pod Pro Entertainment. And everything is done virtually via a website called Riverside, and it's through Chrome and Edge. And if you haven't checked out Pod Pro Entertainment, please check it out, because Techie Chalonzo has some wonderful programs, some great programming. Off the top of my head, I believe he has the Career Guru, who has offices. I think Steve Yanofsky is the gentleman's name who runs it, but he has an office in Malden, I think one in Lynn, and I think he's actually looking to extend into the South Shore in in this area, Brockton area, wherever. But it's one of those things that the Career Guru is really a great program. And also Dave D'Arcangelo. Dave was the director, the chair of I believe the Massachusetts Commission on Disabilities, doing this off the top of my head, but he has a great show that Techie Talonzo produces, and many podcasts come out of there, and a few other podcasts above the rim, and Techie Talonzo is always looking to add additional podcasts, and it's a really great thing. And of course, Paul Ponders is there, so go to podproentertainment.com, and you could hear so many of the Paul Ponders podcasts. We just recorded an episode. I believe we recorded episode number 71 or 72 the other night, and really it's just really a lot of fun, and it gives us the opportunity just to really spread the word, ponder a bit. And as I've often said, if my name was Larry, it would be Larry Listens. If my name was Tom, it would be Tom Talks. But Paul Ponders seems to fit the bill. So at this point, we're back on schedule, and we have the Pod Pro Entertainment Techie Toolbox segment with Techie Talonzo Amos and Shelley Wolf, global media firm owner of Toolbox Entertainment and Vice President of Technology Literacy for Pod Pro Entertainment, and a past Paul Ponders guest, episode number 35. Shelley, I hear you're on the line.
I am here, Paul. How are you doing today?
I am doing well, thanks. Doing well. It's a great day in the neighborhood. It's Labor Day weekend, and yeah, just hanging out here in Marshfield and just waiting for you to really present us with some wonderful tips.
Well, thanks. Yes, today we've got some fabulous tips. I thought we would focus on going back to school since we're at that time, and talk about setting up some healthy phone habits with our children. It's that time when, everyone's getting new phones, new computers, and all that tech, and school's back in session. And so for so many families, that also means helping to navigate their children and their phones. So from late night scrolling, distractions, in-class, managing technology, just one of the biggest back-to-school challenges I find these days. So I wanted to focus on how to set up healthy boundaries with phones and technology so our kids stay safe, focused, and connected in the right ways. First, I just want to talk about don't take tech away from people, right? Like, have an open conversation about why balance matters and explain that phones have really helpful tools, but too much screen time can also interfere with our sleep, our mental health, homework, and even our friendships. Ask your children, what do you like most about your phone? What worries might you have about it? This also builds trust with them and helps them really reflect on the habits that they're going to begin creating. Thinking about setting boundaries that make sense, bedtime rules, phones out of the bedroom at nighttime, charge them in the kitchen or living room. Those screens just keep kids all up all night. And having worked with kids, let me tell you, most of my kids would come in telling me, I was up all night on my phone. So, there's not lots of boundaries out there. Homework hours, use that do not disturb or focus mode on our phones so notifications don't interrupt study time. Create screen-free zone times. Make meal times and family time, car rides completely tech-free, and encourage real conversation. I don't know about you, but we were put in the car and we were looking for all the different license plates from around the country when we were in the car.
Yep.
Pro tip is, instead of that punishment, frame it as balance. Because phones really are tools. They're not toys, and I think we need to teach that. Use built-in technology tools. There's parental controls, like on the iPhone screen time settings. Android, there's the Family Link app. Set daily limits on gaming apps or social media and review app downloads together so that you're really reviewing what's on their phone. Safety comes first. Teach kids that not only to accept friends if you're going to allow them on social media, to really think about hey, reach out to your friends and confirm that they may have sent you a social media request, because so many times on social media platforms, we've talked about cloning on these apps, and you just want to make sure their friends aren't cloning, or it's someone, and it's someone dangerous talking to our children. So we don't want to have that happening. And only respond to messages from people make sure that they understand they should not, it's kind of like stranger danger, right? Don't get in the car, don't talk to strangers. But at the same time, don't respond to messages from people you don't know. Encourage them to show what they're actually learning on the phone versus the role of letting them, and reverse that role. Let them teach you about apps, right? Like I always say, they're smarter than us, and I'm learning from young people all the time about new apps and new features that are out there. So it really empowers them and makes them feel good, but also it will build a really honest and trustful relationship with them, with the family and dynamic. Model healthy habits too, as well. As your kids watch what you do more than you think, it's really important for them to see you unplugging, putting your phone down during meal times, during family conversation times. So many families sit around and they're on their phones and they have the TV on and everyone's just still at their phone level. So trying to really teach boundaries with that. Share with them how to manage their digital distractions, like silencing notifications before bed or limiting news alerts that might come on. So just real quick tech checklist is to talk openly with the children about tech habits, collect phones at night for better sleep, use Do Not Disturb during homework, and set parental controls, review different apps, model balance, and practice for yourself as well. So again, this week, pick up one new phone habit to try at home, maybe a family charging station in the kitchen, a rule at mealtime, phone-free zones. Small steps can also help your kids build healthy habits within tech for there and also in the classroom. So that's what I've got for a tech tip today, and here's to a school year full of focus, connection, and balance for youth and family.
Interesting. Just a quick question, Shelley. What are your thoughts about the bill in front of the Massachusetts legislature about cell phone usage in the school system?
Yeah, it's a very complicated topic, right? I think we are in a time where I do think kids need phones. We need to have phones in schools, right? We have too many dangerous things happening at schools. But I also have to say, there's a time and place when they need to be used. So again, having us really as parents set boundaries, not only at home, but parents need to set boundaries in the classroom. I talk to so many teachers and they're telling me parents are calling kids all day long in the classes. And, I think it's a fine line because, you have to know that your kid's in class, just like you're at work and you can't be on the phone, right? So keeping that safe boundary space. And so, it's a fine line of locking up phones and kids not having access. God forbid something happens. And right now we've already seen so many scares at the university level since the schools opened a week ago. And so it's just a very mixed opinion on that, to be honest.
Interesting. I went to a comedy show at the Chevalier Theater in Chevalier Auditorium in Medford about a year or so ago, and at the artist's request, everyone had to lock their phones. They had to turn their phones in, and I was totally amazed at that. Have you ever encountered that, where you go to a concert and you have to lock your phones? You have to turn them in and get them back?
Yeah, I have. And actually, in the early 2000s, they would make us do that in some of the museums and stuff when we would go to special screenings in New York for movies or museum exhibits and stuff like that. So I have had that. Paisley Park does it when you walk through in Minneapolis, you have to lock your phone up. So, I think at least if you're able to access it, if you need to. But I do understand, especially being an artist, it's so distracting. People sit on their phones and they're texting and, the lights are on or people, flashes are on all the time and taking pictures. And I think we've kind of stepped over our boundaries of, not enjoying entertainment anymore. And our phones have become entertainment even though we go to entertainment.
Right. And people just need to keep it in the moment.
Yeah.
Well, Shelley, how do our listeners in Paul Ponders Land contact you?
Yeah, so we can be reached at info@podproentertainment.com. And yeah, we've been getting some great feedback. Today's request actually came from one of my colleagues. So this shout out to AFA for having this conversation with me today about students and kids going back to school and setting those healthy boundaries. So
that's fabulous. And just a quick thing before we wind down and all, do I hear that you're going to be doing some traveling to Japan?
I am, yes. I'm very excited. In October, a colleague of mine who we travel quite often together will be traveling to Japan, and so we'll be spending 3 weeks there. We're going to have the opportunity to go to the World's Fair, or what's called the World Expo, and really get to see an amazing country. Everyone has nothing but amazing things to say about it, so yeah.
That's awesome. I guess you just had a yen to get there, right?
Just had to have a yen to get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Between that and the 6 continents you've been to, how many countries will this be for you?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm right now currently at 48 countries.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's going to be some stopovers in some other places. I'm going to get to spend a little time. So I get the chance to go spend some time in Hong Kong as well. We'll be going over to Okinawa. So, there's definitely some new countries. There'll be a list of countries that will get added very quickly.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. Well, we'll have to pick up on this conversation in future weeks, perhaps next week and all. But, Shelley, I want to thank you for being on again, and I want to wish you a great rest of the Labor Day weekend. Happy Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, same to you, Paul.
Thank you. Hashtag Indeed.
And hashtag Imagine.
Indeed. Thank you, Shelley. Well, as Arthur Boyle says, it's not time to make the donuts, it's time to pay some bills. So let's hear from our sponsors.
Have you heard about Pembroke Collision? Price and quality don't often collide under the same roof. Not so at Pembroke Collision at 192 Maniquisett Street in Pembroke. Pembroke Collision will work with you and your insurance company to get you back on the road in a safe and satisfactory vehicle. Put your trust in Ben Bastianelli and his crew at Pembroke Collision. Just call 781-293-4040 or find them on Facebook. Pembroke Collision, happy to work for you. Have you tried Bryantville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that's steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857.
A reminder from Crystal Clear Pools in Kingston. Pools can be fun and a relief from summer's heat, but they can also be a safety concern. Crystal Clear Pools offers safety tips including don't swim alone, don't dive into unfamiliar waters, have automatic locks on all gates and points of access, know where all your safety equipment is located and know how to use it, know where the nearest telephone is in case of emergency, and always keep your pool clean and sanitized. For other safety tips and quality pool products, stop by and see us on Route 27 in Kingston, Crystal Clear Pools, 781-585-7665. Be safe this season.
5-time Hall of Fame inductee President Dave Caiazzo from the National Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame Massachusetts chapter invites you to its Hall of Fame induction ceremony at 1 p.m. on Sunday, October 5th at Anthony's of Malden. Congrats to Zavarian Brothers High School head football coach Al Finaro, past San Diego Padres farmhand Joe DiSarcina, and special Tony the Champ DeMarco Spirit Award recipient Catholic Memorial AD football coach John DiBiazzo. Please contact Paul at paulponders.com or President Dave Caiazzo at davekaipitching@gmail.com for more ticket information. Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were 3 deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email mike@northeasternfence.com.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
Welcome and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors. The call-in number is 781-837-4900, and you could also find us on the Odyssey app. And I want to give a shout-out to my daughter Ann in California, who listens to Dad on that Odyssey app. That's heard around the world, as Tim says on his promos.
Around the world.
Yes, indeed. It really is incredible. I've been on that Odyssey app, Tim, and it is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
how
it's a
many
nice one.
Stations there are.
Yeah.
It's really great. It's a great way if you're not within the air reach of WATD. And I will say that on the way up to Haverhill, last week, I was able to listen to WATD as far north as Tewksbury.
Ooh,
which is quite a reach.
Yes, it is.
It really is a stretch.
It's not always the power you have. It's where you place your antenna.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Okay, absolutely. And we'll give a shout out to those nonprofits who, in fact, reach out to me. And if you want to contact me, you could contact me at paul@paulponders.com. And listeners can go to paulponders.com to find subscription links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, as well as finding past Paul Ponders and WATD shows. My last Paul Ponders podcast dropped this past Sunday with a tribute to the late, great Alan Robot, who was the owner of Pearl Street Station Restaurant, and Alan passed away on July 4th. We miss him tremendously, and his wife Michelle is doing as well as could be expected. And Alan was just a truly great man, great hospitality professional, and is truly missed. So if you have a chance to listen to that Paul Ponders episode, tribute to Alan Robot, please do. At this point of the program, we have the community outreach segment sponsored by PS&All Marketing Group and the mortgage originators from Riverworks Credit Union. And calling in, we have the executive consultant of Paul Ponders Radio Show, none other than Arthur Boyle. Arthur, you on the line?
I'm on the line, Paul. How you doing?
I am doing well. Living the dream, as they say.
Well, it's nice to hear that you're as busy as usual. I christened you as the busiest guy in America about a year ago, and nothing has changed.
Well, at least I'm consistent, right? Consistently busy and just making things happen. Or trying to anyways, right?
Well, I want to send out a message to my classmates in the Malden High class of 1975. Our 50th school reunion is coming up, and we're down to the last call for the tickets. There's over 100 people going on September 21st, and they can call to get details. They can call the station, and they'll put them in touch with me.
Well, that's fabulous. 50 years, huh?
But, yeah, can you believe it?
No, I can't.
Very quickly.
I'm coming up on 45, so it's one of those things that time flies when you're having fun.
Well, you're a kid by our standards.
There you go. There you go. Well, what was it like going to high school with your dad as the principal?
Well, let's say that discipline wasn't an issue. No, he had, I should always tell people, he had three loves in his life. He had my mother, his children, and his high school. And that was the way he lived his life. He was a special guy. And
he really
going
was.
to school, high school with him, it was like having another friend in the school, because he got down to, every school event, whether it was the variety show or the band concert or the football game, he was there. And, they were real fine now.
Without a doubt. And one thing about your dad, God rest his soul, he always remembered everyone's name. He had incredible recall.
Yeah, he had a real knack for remembering, your brother who was ahead of you and your sister who was a cheerleader from, 5 years prior, and he just you were important to him, and he returned that important, he loved the kids, and they loved him back.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And if anyone is ever traveling out to Malden on Salem Street, on 77 Salem Street, you'll see that one of the buildings is in fact named the Arthur P. Boyle Senior Building, correct?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the name right in the front.
Absolutely. Front and center.
I can call some social friends from time to time, and they'll say, "Is that building named for you?" Yeah, that's right. It's named for Dad, and there's no mistaking that.
Right, exactly. Well, it's incredible. And of course, your years in public service, the answer to a trivia question, I believe the trivia question is, what Massachusetts politician has been elected to four school committees? And that be you, right?
That'd be me.
Northeast Regional Metropolitan Vocational Committee, Malden School Committee,
right.
Silver Lake School Committee, and Pembroke School Committee. Wow, 4.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it all.
Absolutely, your years of public service have just been so great, Arthur. So, what's happening in Pembroke? Do you want to cover anything that's going on in Pembroke?
Well, it's kind of quiet this weekend with the last of the vacation, and football starts up. The high school football season starts in about a week, and they're practicing already. And the band, Pembroke's got a sensational band. And an interesting statistic is 1 in 5 students at Pembroke High School are in the band.
Wow.
So there's something about the quality of your teachers and your instructors. It's good to go to the football game, but I go and watch and listen to the band as well.
I love it. I love it. I had an interesting encounter or exchange with one of our reps over at Pearl Street Station Restaurant, and the representative was a graduate of Providence College, and around the time when BC was playing Providence in it was the ECACs back then, BITD as my daughters say back in the day, and he was at this game and describing this game, and I said, I was at that game too. It's the one time I played in a band, and John Bernelli, who was our class advisor, big BC guy, had the license plate BC band, scored me the musical instrument of all time, which was the triangle. Okay, and I had to get into my maroon and gold shirt. Okay, that he gave me right before. It was XL. Could have been a double XL at the time, and it was one of those things that I proudly brought that triangle in and was sitting right in the corner taunting Chris Thierry, the goaltender for Providence, and it was a great game. And he stood on his head. I think he had like about 70 saves, something like that, way back when. I want to say this was like 1985. And this rep was at the game, and he was sitting right by the BC band, and he called us really annoying. But I said, didn't I hit all the notes of For Boston perfectly with the triangle?
Yeah, you set a new scoring record on the scoring was on the court, not
absolutely
not the band contribution.
I love it. I love it. And I did.
BC, Doug Flutie was here at the Brock and Rock this past week, and he just impressed me every time I see him, and every time I listen to him on the radio, because he's just nice to the 100th person is used to the first one. And, it's a difficult thing to do, I'm sure. Have people, putting the spaghetti supper, in front of them and, taking their, pizza and, putting it aside so that they can talk to him. And he's very, very accommodating.
Without a doubt, Doug, just a great individual. I knew Doug when I was at BC, and I was also friendly with his brother Darren and the Flutie family. Just an incredible family and all. But Arthur, as you always say, it's not time to make the donuts; it's time to pay some bills. So we're just going to go hear from our sponsors, and I see we have a call on the line too, which we'll grab on the other side after we hear from our sponsors. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have you tried Brianville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Briantville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fried dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Briantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Briantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857. Have you heard about Pembroke Collision? Price and quality don't often collide under the same roof. Not so at Pembroke Collision at 192 Maniquisett Street in Pembroke. Pembroke Collision will work with you and your insurance company to get you back on the road in a safe and satisfactory vehicle. Put your trust in Ben Bastianelli and his crew at Pembroke Collision. Just call 781-293-4040 or find them on Facebook. Pembroke Collision, happy to work for you.
A reminder from Crystal Clear Pools in Kingston. Pools can be fun and a relief from summer's heat, but they can also be a safety concern. Crystal Clear Pools offers safety tips including don't swim alone, don't dive into unfamiliar waters, have automatic locks on all gates and points of access, know where all your safety equipment is located and know how to use it, know where the nearest telephone is in case of emergency, and always keep your pool clean and sanitized. For other safety tips and quality pool products, stop by and see us on Route 27 in Kingston, Crystal Clear Pools, 781-585-7665. Be safe this season.
Five-time Hall of Fame inductee President Dave Caiazzo from the National Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame Massachusetts chapter invites you to its Hall of Fame induction ceremony at 1 p.m. on Sunday, October 5th at Anthony's of Malden. Congrats to Zavarian Brothers High School head football coach Al Finaro, past San Diego Padres farmhand Joe DiSarcina, and special Tony the Champ DeMarco Spirit Award recipient Catholic Memorial AD football coach John DiBiazzo. Please contact Paul at paulponders.com or President Dave Caiazzo at davekaipitching@gmail.com for more ticket information. Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were three deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email mike@northeasternfence.com.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back, and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, where the call-in number is 781-837-4900. Arthur Boyle is on the line. Arthur called in earlier, and we have another call on the line. I think you've met Bob Hilberg before, the historian for the New England Patriots. Bob Hilberg.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
I am doing well. And you and Arthur have met, right?
I think at the show, yeah, down in the studio. Sure.
Right, exactly. That's great. And Bob, welcome. Thanks for calling in.
Absolutely. Got to say right off the bat, happy birthday to Drake May, 23-year-old future superstar of the Patriots. Let's hope he has a big year. Everyone's predicting that he's going to step up. He's only 23, but he's got a couple more years to grow into the quarterback position. But we're looking for big things from Drake May this year.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And what's this with the Patriots signing Tommy DeVito, huh?
Yeah, how about that? A guy that played pretty well against us in an exhibition game a couple of years ago, and we need some depth at the quarterback position. So
that's great. I saw you on Monday at Pearl Street Station. You were so instrumental in volunteering with Pamela regarding the golf tournament we had to benefit a couple of ALS charities, and I want to thank you again for your support there. And we chatted about the upcoming season with the Patriots and all. Now, Arthur, are you a big Patriots fan, Arthur? I'm forgetting. Are you?
Yes, I'm a huge Patriots fan.
Okay. Well, Bob, you're the historian of the Patriots. You've written a couple of books on the Patriots. You spent over 25,000 hours of research and all, and you have such great insight. What are you looking at for this season with the Patriots?
Well, just to build off that a little bit, so I just want to give you a little background. So the opening day of Schaefer Stadium in 1971, where the toilets didn't work and the showers backed up, the Patriots played the Raiders and upset them 20-6 with Jim Plunkett as the quarterback. And I was just on WATD about a week and a half ago with Gary Levitt interviewing Jim Plunkett and Randy Fataha, reminiscent about that game in 1971. And then if we move forward to 20 years ago, in September of 25 is when the Patriots unveiled their 2004 World Championship banner, and Ozzy Osbourne was there, God rest his soul, and they beat the Raiders that game, 30-20. So now we've got a new uniform. The Patriots are unveiling a new uniform this year, and they're playing the Raiders on the opening day. So let's hope this continues to a three-peat, that they beat the Raiders again to start this season.
That's interesting, and I think it could happen.
Yeah, I like our chances. I think everyone's saying that they're in the range of 9 to 10 wins, and certainly starting it off with a win against the Las Vegas Raiders, because it was the Oakland Raiders, then the Los Angeles Raiders, and now it's the Las Vegas Raiders. So it's pretty interesting that we got to beat all three of these Raider teams from different locations. And
Tom Brady is part owner, isn't he? Of the
that's quite interesting that he falls into that category. And just a little coincidence that the owner of the Oakland Raiders, and for that matter, the Los Angeles Raiders, Al Davis, who God rest his soul, was actually born in Brockton, Massachusetts.
Oh,
so
really?
A little bit of trivia for the people out there.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Wow, the things you learn from your wonderful depth of knowledge, incredible.
So just a little bit, people are going to be talking about this if they've been around for 50 or 60 years, is when the Patriots opened their stadium in 1971, the toilets didn't work, the plumbing wasn't working, the water pressure wasn't there, and they had an event prior to 2 weeks before the opening of the season where the Board of Health had to come in and they had to flush all the toilets at the same time to make sure they worked. And it was either called the super flush or the great flush to make sure all the adjustments that were made during the exhibition season were proper. So when they had the opening day in September of 71, that the toilets worked. And, of course, they didn't when 30,000 people went to the toilets at halftime and they all backed up. And it took a whole year to fix it. So there's some memories of this. People that are listening to WATD might remember the super flush or the great flush, but that was September 4th, 1971. Just a little bit of fun history there.
Wow. Interesting. Arthur, what are your thoughts on this upcoming season with the Patriots?
I think 9 or 10 wins is realistic. I think you'll see the Patriots are a variable team now. They're taking on his personality, and he's going to make a dent, no doubt about it.
Interesting. So, are we vying for a wild card? Probably a wild card, right?
I would think we're in that. We got a shot. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, Bob, do you have season tickets? I believe.
I do not. No. Actually, for 15 years, I worked in the Patriots press room, so I was very blessed to be there during the Brady era and to see 3 world championships. And actually, the first game that I actually worked there for the NFL, I was actually an NFL employee, but I was there for every Patriots game for 15 years, is when they unveiled the 2004 banner, and I'm standing in the 3rd level. And there's an NFL banner, and they're pulling up the NFL banner, and behind it said 2004 champion. So it was pretty cool to be the only guy there in a white shirt waving to millions of people and be in all the videos. So that was 20 years ago. So that's a nice little memory that I had of first day of work, all these people waving to me.
I gotta love that. And we might as well give a shout out to the books you've published. If you want to let our listeners know what books you published.
Yeah, so the first book is called Total Patriots, and the easiest way to remember that is like Total Cereal, Total Patriots, and it covers the first 50 years of the team from 1960 and all their ups and downs and player profiles and every player in every game. Total Patriots, published by Triumph Books. You can probably get it on eBay for $10, $12 now, used, but try to get one with a good cover on it. And there's one in the Pearl Street restaurant if you wanted to just grab it and reminisce and look at it up in Malden. And then a few years later, we updated it. In 2020, we updated it. It's called Relive Patriots History, and that's about 340 pages. And the stats that are in Relive Patriots History are in Patriots Hall of Fame in the 3rd floor of the Patriots all-time roster. So if you don't want to buy the book, go to the Patriots Hall of Fame and go to the all-time roster and look up the 1,452 players that have played for the Patriots in at least one game and some of their stats. So pretty cool stuff.
Wow. And how many hours of research went into it?
You mentioned that about 25,000 hours.
Yes, okay.
I figured 20 hours a week for 25 years. Of looking stuff up on microfilm, every single play, every single game, interviewing hundreds of players. And that's how I turned into, my life coach is understanding what it takes to become an elite champion and what it takes to get it to a level of playing in the NFL. Even if you only played in 1 or 2 or 3 games, what was your mindset like? What was your focus and attitude? What was your mantra of being a team player and playing like a champion? So I spin off on that and help people overcome obstacles and fears and focus on things that you really want to do and accomplish, and surround yourself with people that help you get there.
Without a doubt. On Monday at the golf tournament, at the after party at Pearl Street, after your conversation with so many of our golfers and all, they were asking me about that book. So, Arthur, when you come up to Pearl Street Station Restaurant, when you make it up, maybe in your reunion planning, you definitely have to check out this encyclopedia. Have you ever seen it, Arthur? Have you ever read the encyclopedia?
I have not, but I look forward to the opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. It really is just an incredible publication and all. So, Arthur, any final thoughts? And I'll ask Bob about any final thoughts before we start to wind down. Arthur?
Well, I'm curious if he thinks the Patriots' luck is going to go hand in hand with Josh Kraft, if he's going to be able to defeat the mayor of Boston. Josh Kraft has a long shot there. I mean, not that I'm into politics at all, but no, I think the Patriots have a fairly easy schedule, and if they stay healthy, I mean, Christian Gonzalez got to stay healthy, and the defense got to keep us in the game, and the kicking special teams is a major part. Don't make turnovers, but
if we play smart and we're going to play tough, no question, Vrabel. And the thing about Vrabel 20 years ago when they beat the Raiders, he had a sack in that game. So, here we are 20 years later. Now he's the head coach. So not many guys play for the Patriots and end up coaching for the Patriots, which is pretty cool too.
And who do you think is going to be the defensive player most likely to take the ball into the end zone like Vrabel did so well?
Well, the thing I'm looking forward to is watching Marcus Jones. Marcus Jones is the guy that scored an offensive touchdown, a special teams touchdown, and a defensive touchdown in 2022. Let's see if he can do that again. Although, we got three pretty good running backs for the Patriots and a decent tight end. So whether or not Marcus Jones is going to play offense again, I don't know. But I just want to give a quick shout out to any Patriots fans. Get out to the Kowloon on September 9th and meet Will Campbell. He's going to be at the Kowloon with Phil Castanetti and Sports World. Be a chance to meet potentially a superstar player. We're putting him in the league of John Hanna and those kind of guys, but he's got some potential as a first-round pick. And if he does well in the next 5 or 6 years, this might be a cool opportunity to meet Will Campbell September 9th up in the Kowloon in Saugus.
We'll have to check that out. Well, Bob, I want to thank you for calling in. Always a pleasure. And Arthur Boyle, executive consultant of Paul Ponders Radio Show, I want to thank you for calling in as well. Gentlemen, you gentlemen are awesome.
It's a privilege.
It's a pleasure and a privilege, Paul Ponders.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Hashtag indeed. Thank you, Paul. Thanks, Arthur.
Thank you, and be well.
Go Pats.
And I invite our listeners to stay tuned to WATD for the Memories with Ron Dwyer, the grand poobah of oldies rock and roll. Ron, you are the true leader of the pack with great musical memories of yesteryear. So thank you, Ron, and thanks again, listeners, Tim, Arthur, Shelley, Bob, and our advertisers. But thank you, listeners in WATD world and beyond. Keep Paul pondering. Hashtag indeed.